Welcome to TMZ Live. Britney Spears is at a crucial junction in her life, and there are people around her who hope that after her DUI arrest, she will finally be open to the idea of rehab, because the other option is jail. And the reason that jail is on the table in this case, normally we always say to you, a first-time offender, first-time DUI arrest, very rarely ends with any jail time. Particularly in California, there are plea deals made all the time. But there's something that's complicating Britney's case, and it has to do with what was found in her car. In addition to the alcohol in her system, which she went to the hospital, they drew blood, there was also the possibility that there were illegal narcotics in her system, because what they found in the car, a source tells us that they found Adderall pills in her car. Now, it's unclear if the Adderall is pure, but police are actually trying to figure that out now. And depending on what they find out, this could lead to jail time for Britney.
Yes, it could, especially if she does not have a prescription for the medication. We don't know if that's the case or not. Also, we're told that Britney has been going to Mexico to purchase the Adderall.
We've seen her for years going to Mexico, making very weekend trips to Mexico, and yeah.
Yes, so what we're told is that the Adderall that you can buy in Mexico at times is often laced with fentanyl and meth and cocaine. So the pills that were in the car could potentially,
Right, and we're not saying that she intended to get those things.
No.
It all depends on, like you said, did she have a prescription, and who did she actually buy this Adderall from?
Correct.
But if any of those other things were in that, and therefore were in her system, that's a different story. And then she's kind of at the mercy of the court.
Yes.
Right? Because the judge will ultimately have discretion as to whether or not, how seriously is this person taking their own health, their own sobriety, and putting other people at risk by getting behind the wheel after taking that medication and also drinking.
Yeah, and we're not going to know the results of the test for a couple of weeks. But yeah, police obviously believe that it could be a controlled substance.
And yeah, that is a game changer for her. Yes. So part of this, and we heard this yesterday, that there were people around her who were hoping that this is a trigger. Her manager, Kate Hudson, said that there are long overdue changes that needed to happen in her life. And he also talked about a support system. Is she going to get that support system, which largely at this point has to come from family?
Well, yes. I mean, Kate is really the only best friend at the moment. Well, the only friend at the moment. We heard reported yesterday that she fired her sober coaches right around the time she sold her music catalog, and she got rid of her other team members as well.
Some security members, right.
So really all it is right now is Kate around her and probably the new security. But
so can she get support from her kids? And we know that she's been repairing the relationship with her boys.
Correct, yes.
And her mom to some extent, because we've seen mom come into town.
Come in and out, yeah, at various times in her life to help out. We have reported and do know that Lynn and Britney did speak after the DUI. And we know that Lynn is not coming out at the moment, but that could change. And we do know that the sons are living at Britney's home and have been in communication with their mother. Right. And we also know that Britney has been laying low since the arrest. She's decided not to leave the house, which is probably for the best at the moment.
There's a chance that that the family members, that she's in communication with them, and if she can get that support there. The sober coaches is interesting. That she fired these sober coaches right after she sold the catalog around that time. Mm-hmm. What we don't know is why she fired them, right? And why they were. The fact that she had them, I think, is a sign that clearly there were people, whether it's Britney or other people around her, felt that she needed some sort of help.
Correct, and we do know that Britney believed these coaches were more of a life coach that were there, but we're told that
in other words, the way they sell it to her, whoever was responsible for bringing them in, they say to her, "Oh, these are life coaches. They're going to help you
be around. We'll help you with tasks around the house and do this sort of stuff." But they were actually there to maintain her sobriety.
Well, and with them out of the picture, you got to wonder, is she going to get the help that she needs? And everyone, like we said, is hoping that she will be on board with a rehab program. And actually, we're told that she is not just shutting it down. She is open to the possibility and wants to hear what the options are. But again, firing the sober coaches, and we don't know why she did, really makes you wonder what kind of treatment Britney is going to need going forward. Joining us now to talk about that, someone who is an expert on addiction, Dr. Drew. Welcome back to TMZ Live.
Charles, thank you. Glad to be here.
So this is pretty alarming. Obviously, on the heels of her getting arrested for a DUI, to find out that she had sober coaches, it seems like that's a good thing, but then that she fired them, and then a few weeks later ends up getting a DUI. How much could a sober coach really do for someone like Britney? Like, she's not in a program. Is it enough to just have sober coaches?
It's a really interesting question. And there are good, talented sober coaches, and there are some not so great ones. And ultimately, I'm not a big fan of sober coaching because it's a sign that somebody is not in their program. They're not in where they should be. They're not motivated to get well. And you're putting a structure on them, much like her conservatorship that she had at one time, that trying to essentially babysit her. But here's the big story here is we've heard a lot about her bipolar disorder, and she was on a conservatorship because she was seriously mentally ill. She was on a 3-day hold, then a 14-day hold, and ultimately conservatorship, which in California you never get. So it's a sign of how seriously ill she was. But I have never seen any evidence. In fact, I've been afraid to really take a strong position on this because we've not heard about her drug use and her alcoholism. Now we're beginning to hear about it. I was suspicious that that was a major contributing factor to why her bipolar disorder was unstable, and now we have it. The fact is, you don't get a sober coach because you don't have addiction. You get it because it's so bad, you need somebody to contain it on your behalf. And so we have two conditions. We have bipolar disorder and we have addiction. And I see no evidence. I've never seen any evidence that her addiction was being thoroughly treated. And that's what is at issue right now.
So is it a good half step? Because what we've heard from people around her right now is they feel she needs to be in rehab. She needs some sort of treatment program.
Yes.
Do you think, and I don't know this for a fact, that the reason she got the sober coaches is she was resistant to rehab before, and they said, well, let's at least put these bumpers in place. Is that a decent half step to make?
It is almost undoubtedly what happened. What usually happens with famous people is they want to go back to work and they don't want to spend the time in treatment that they need. And so they go, oh, I'll get a sober coach. It'll be fine. And that's where the sober coaches step in. And in that setting, I've seen the sober coaches end up using drugs with the identified patient. So it doesn't typically go great. So what we're seeing is exactly what you're saying, Charles. She needs comprehensive treatment. And if she is so fragile that she needs a babysitter, she needs more treatment, longer, in structured environment, sustained treatment, which she, to my eye, we have no evidence that she's ever had for her addictive pathology. And there are great programs out there. And there's a decent chance that some of the what looks like bipolar disorder will really settle down if her addiction is properly treated.
So you raised that, and that is an excellent point that I wasn't even thinking about. The fact that because of the DUI and what we've heard about the Adderall that was found in the car, I was kind of focusing on the addiction side of it, that I also forgot about the fact that she does have this mental illness, and that without the conservatorship, we have no way of knowing that she is actually taking the medication that she's supposed to take. But combining those things, it seems like she's playing with fire if there is a lot of alcohol being used also while she's taking if she's taking those medications.
Well, and I think you had mentioned to me that Adderall is one of the medications that was found in her possession. And I know of no better way than to destabilize a bipolar patient than Adderall and alcohol. So we're on here. But, you know, she has a distorted memory of her treatment. She did have a comprehensive treatment program, but sort of a dual diagnosis program briefly. And if you remember, she reports that it was abusive and horrible and terrible and a jail. That's a distortion. That is not how these programs work at all. So they may be having to overcome this, frankly, distorted memory that she has in order to get her in a good program.
Right, because I'm sure she would be resistant, saying, I remember what that was like. I don't want to go back into that.
Yeah.
I guess the good news is we're hearing that she is at least open to hearing the options that are ahead of her. And because there's a possibility of jail time if that Adderall was laced with anything else, maybe that's enough to sort of shake her up and make her realize rehab might be a very good thing.
You know, I'm smiling because the reality is that with the combination of problems that she has, it takes a long time before they start to have insight again. They have something called anosognosia, which is a block in insight. They don't see what's happening to them. It's why people end up on the streets. They don't see it. And she definitely has those features. And so it'll be a while before she really wakes up. So, I mean, really has insight into what's going on. But hopefully somebody will be able to motivate her to get into a good program. And she could do very well. But let's remind ourselves that she has 2 life-threatening conditions. This is what I've always said. The conservatorship saved her life. When she wanted to try off it, she was entitled to that. But I predicted at the beginning of that, it was not going to go well because these are dangerous, serious conditions and they require regular management. And she's not really been a participant. And maybe now she will be.
Yeah. To your point, Drew, there have been Free Britney people even who are very vocal fighting for her to get out of that conservatorship, who are looking at it now going, maybe that wasn't a great idea.
Well, it wasn't a great idea, but she wanted to do it. She deserved the opportunity to do it. I mean, there are people, you can walk outside your studio, you'll find people that need a conservatorship more than Britney at that time. But
maybe I don't have to walk outside.
look around your staff.
Yeah.
But Harvey's not there. So, oh no, I beg your pardon. But be that as it may, it is, she deserved a chance and she wanted a chance. So fine, it's America, right? But it predictably, medically, it wasn't going to go well, and here we are. So fine, now let's take care of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Drew. We always love having your insight on this. There's a great point you made about the 2 things she's battling. Thank you for being with us. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks, Charles.
All right.
Coming up.
Ryan Murphy's latest series on Hulu is about John F. Kennedy Jr. and his wife, Carolyn Bessette. Well, the series, while it's getting a lot of attention and a lot of people are tuning in for it, Daryl Hannah is not one of them.
Be right back.
Ryan Murphy's latest series on Hulu is about John F. Kennedy Jr. and his wife, Carolyn Bessette. You know, of course, they were both killed in a plane crash back in 1998. Was it 98 or 98? Well, the series, while it's getting a lot of attention and a lot of people are tuning in for it, there's one person, was it 99? Nope, I got it wrong. All right, 1999. But a lot of people tuning in for this. Daryl Hannah is not one of them, or at least she is not happy with what she's heard about the series. For those who are younger, don't remember this, Daryl Hannah was dating John F. Kennedy Jr. back in the day, and she is portrayed in the series. She is not happy about that portrayal at all. She actually wrote a long essay for the New York Times, firing back at Ryan Murphy and the producers of the show. Just a little bit of what she said and why she's pissed off. She said, the character Daryl Hannah portrayed in the series is not even a remotely accurate representation of my life, my conduct, or my relationship with John. I have never used cocaine in my life or hosted cocaine-fueled parties. I never compared Jacqueline Onassis' death to a dog's. That was a hell of a scene. She says, it's appalling to me that I even have to defend myself against a television show. In the weeks since the series started airing, it's still airing right now, I have received many hostile and even threatening messages from viewers who seem to believe the portrayal is factual. So this is a thing with Ryan Murphy, and Ryan Murphy is brilliant at these series that are based on real-life stories, real-life people. The challenge, I think, is when you start doing it about people who are still alive, when you are dramatizing, and there's always that disclaimer on these series, right? They say these are maybe real-life characters, but they're based, some of this is fictionalized. But if you fictionalize things about people who are alive, well, those people might be pissed if you over-fictionalize.
We saw that with Monster, too, with one of the victims of Jeffrey Dahmer. His family also spoke out. So I feel like he's done a lot of biopic series over the years, and now he's crouching into territory where people are still alive, family members are still upset and grieving over it, and they're coming out.
Had this with the Menendez brothers. There were people who were upset
His most outspoken person has been Jack Schlossberg, JFK Jr.'s nephew, who says over and over again, when you're watching this, watch it with a capital F for fiction, because this is fake. Ryan Murphy does not know his family, and Daryl Hannah is saying the same thing now. And I think in Daryl's case, they needed a villain for this series, and they chose her. They chose her as the wedge between John and Carolyn, whether she was or not.
And even that, by the way, I don't know if she's complaining about that part of it.
Yeah.
But that you could see, even if you dramatize that, because it was one relationship and then another relationship, that you could see. But when you start going into facts about, I mean, that scene where she goes into the funeral of Jacqueline Onassis and says, starts talking about the dog that died and comparing those two things. It seems like if you're watching it and you don't know, you'd be like, oh, that had to have happened.
Yeah.
Because why would they write that specifically?
All these shows, you're like, oh, yeah, that definitely happened. And then you go on Wiki afterwards and you're like, oh, wow, there's not a lot in here.
Yeah, so no lawsuit at this point, but she's certainly making some points.
I'm sure she won't be the first person to speak out who's been portrayed in this.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all. It's Alexis. I'm here in Houston, Texas. And listen, I think it's absolutely valid for Daryl Hannah to be upset with her depiction in the show. Other Kennedy family members have come out and said that Ryan Murphy didn't consult them. This is obviously fiction. I think the real issue here lies with the fact that there are people in our society, the large majority of which take anything that they see on a screen, whether it's a phone screen, a TV screen, as absolute fact. And to your point, they don't take the time to do their own research. And that's why we live in such a volatile and polarizing society. It's really sad.
Yeah, most people do not watch these series with a laptop open going and cross-checking it. They're barely watching usually, and if they see it, they go, oh, that must have happened. Ryan Gosling really knows how to promote a movie. Sure, you can just go on and do a talk show. Every actor does that when they have a movie coming out. But he pulled out the big guns for his new movie, Project Hail Mary. So he went on The Tonight Show. That's the expected part. The unexpected part that really has blown everyone's minds today was the fact that Eva Mendes was there also. The reason this is a big deal, they do not make public appearances together. It is extremely rare. So watch how he pulled this off. I think she's actually genuinely surprised he did this.
It is Ava's birthday today. She's here.
Here she comes. She's been on the show.
Eva Mendes.
Here to play.
So much.
Happy birthday to Eva Mendes. Please welcome the North Bergen High School Marching Band.
Yeah.
So, obviously, Jimmy Fallon and Ryan were in on this. They knew that they were going to do this. I don't know if she actually. Look, kudos to her for actually coming out there. But if she didn't know, she's a very good actress because she acted totally surprised by the whole thing. And yes, she clearly knows that coming out there will help promote Ryan's movie.
Definitely. And she has said in the past that she doesn't like making appearances with him at all. She tries to keep their work separate. This is their first appearance together in like over a decade. So it's been quite a long time since we've seen them. And the last time it was for like a movie premiere. And then after that, she was like, nope, no more. By the way, there's so many rumors if they're married or not. I don't see a ring on her finger in this,
I don't know if they are either. They've never said, and honestly, they've been together for so long, I don't even care anymore whether they're married or not.
Everyone cares, Charles. I mean, it's crazy
why
because,
they've been together,
like for example,
why does there need to be a ring? Why do they need to be married? They're obviously very happy together.
Very happy together, but like, is Ken her husband? Like, we gotta know these things.
No.
He's not just Ken, he's
not
Ryan
her husband.
Gosling.
Ryan is her husband.
I'm Adam from California, and I believe that what Eva and Ryan accomplished is incredibly healthy and should be noted, especially for young couples, not just celebrities, but common folk like us. They were able to keep 10 years of their relationship private. And I don't know if how much of what went on that show was scripted, but if it was not scripted, I think it plays to that value, to where they will only allow you to see glimpses of their accomplishments like a birthday at their own discretion, because during a time where relationships are put under this microscope with billions or millions of strangers, I think they've chosen the higher road, which is valuing that relationship, being able to build it away from the public eye, and thus creating a more authentic relationship.
Yep. See? Proof positive. It actually can be done even in Hollywood.
Coming up.
Lisa Rinna has something for your coffee table. A new book she's written, a memoir. It is called You Better Believe I'm Gonna Talk About It. And so, yes, you'd expect her to talk about some of the secrets, not all, some of the secrets. I'm really shocked about one of them in particular.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Phoebe Rexha was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too.
Did you just say, look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at. Lisa Rinna has something for your coffee table. A new book she's written, a memoir. It is called You Better Believe I'm Gonna Talk About It. And so, yes, you'd expect her to talk about some of the secrets, not all, some of the secrets that she has accumulated during her time in Hollywood. But I'm really shocked about one of them in particular, because there are some legends that you just don't mess with. But I guess Lisa Rinna decided, look, I got to stick to the title. And so one of the people she is spilling the tea on is Dionne Warwick. Now, you may immediately go like, wait, why the hell did Lisa Rinna and Dionne Warwick's paths cross? Well, remember, there was a show that was on for a long time called Apprentice, Celebrity Apprentice, and they were on together the same season. This is what Lisa Rinna says in the book about Dionne Warwick. She says, Dionne Warwick was a nasty piece of work. Ouch. The first time I met her on a create your own pizza task, she barely looked at me, but had the audacity to bark, go get me a Pepsi. And for some reason, I ran off like a simp to get Dionne Warwick a Pepsi. She thanked me by conspiring with her coven to get me canned. Ouch. Wow. I mean,
but Dionne Warwick says, get me a Pepsi. You go get her a Pepsi.
The way she's describing it, could it have happened that way?
100%.
Absolutely. And maybe even did happen.
I believe it. I mean, Dionne Warwick is diva of divas.
Yes.
But she earned that.
Exactly.
So, and Lisa Rinna's a diva in her own right, too. Different kind. But, yeah, maybe it's just a clash of those two people together.
I mean, what I would say to Lisa Rinna is, there's a reason why you, as you described it, ran off like a simp. Because Dionne Warwick has that
She is
aura.
Dionne Warwick. And
Right.
she has earned some, if she wants to be a diva, she can do that.
Right. It just kind of, and also, there's something, she's more experienced in showbiz than you, Lisa.
A little bit, yes. And social media now, too. Like, Dionne Warwick is like a star on X. 500,000 followers.
Right, exactly.
People don't believe it's her actually posting this stuff because she's so savvy. So you're kicking a hornet's nest here, Lisa.
Right. So we will see if, at this point, Dionne Warwick has not responded on her social media, but I have a feeling it might be coming.
It'll come out.
Hi, I'm Morgan from Springfield, Illinois. I think people really appreciate Lisa being raw and honest about the celebrities and behind the scenes because fans don't usually hear about that. So that's what I think.
Yeah, look, and that's why she entitled the book what she did. And I think you're right. Her fans do want to hear these things. It is really shocking, though. And look, more power to her. She'll sell more books by doing it, but it's just generally not done in Hollywood where you call out legends.
Coming up.
Everybody loves Timothée Chalamet, right? Not if you are an opera singer or a ballet dancer, because they feel that he has completely slighted their art forms just to pump up his.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Timothée Chalamet is a marked man. There's a whole group of people who are ticked off at him, which is odd because largely everybody loves Timothée Chalamet, right? Not if you are an opera singer or a ballet dancer, because they feel that he has completely slighted their art forms just to pump up his. This is what Timothée said when he was on CNN. They did a town hall. It was Timothée Chalamet and Matthew McConaughey, and they were talking about the movie industry. This is what Timothée said that has now made him the most wanted man in opera houses around the world.
I'm really right in the middle, Matthew, because I admire people, and I've done it myself, to go on a talk show and go, hey, we got to keep movie theaters alive. You know, we got to keep this genre alive. And another part of me feels like if people want to see it, like Barbie, like Oppenheimer, they're going to go see it and go out of their way to be loud and proud about it. And I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or, you know, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore. All respect to the ballet and opera people out there. I just lost 14 cents in viewership. But, damn, I just took shots for no reason.
That's not a shot. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was a shot. It was definitely, especially the part where he's like, oh, I just lost 14 cents. Come on. But his point really is movies are things that everybody wants to see, or at least that's his hope.
Look, the idea...
And ballet and, you know, and opera, not as many people.
No, not anymore, at least. They are very established pieces of art. These are, like, you would go to the opera back, that used to be, it still kind of is very, you know, high art. Like, you go there and this is like a, you know, black suit event.
But I guess the point is, what's really, ballerinas, opera singers, kind of feel like he's crapping. It's like you're trying to elevate your art by crapping on ours. And as artists, as fellow artists, they think that that's a step too far.
I agree. I think in an incredibly like AI-focused, digital, social media forward age where like movies have this great platform to be seen and promoted, people in physical arts like opera and dance don't have that. And so it feels disrespectful to undermine another art form when you yourself are an artist as well. You just got a little bit luckier.
Well, I don't know about that. I do think he came a little too hard, like came down too hard on ballet and on opera. But the truth of the matter is he's an actor who probably has given it a shot, who's probably seen it and was not, you know, didn't like it very much.
Does it come across as a little bit of like sort of self-absorbed Gen Z?
It certainly does, but my point is you can't.
You didn't have to throw Gen Z in there, but a little.
I don't have any problem with that, Charles. You can go ahead, but I think he need as respectful as he should be. Giving criticism is not a problem, and it's not that he can't use his platform to have criticisms, because whether he's famous or not, he's going to have them.
God forbid he ever gets a script that has anything to do with
Phantom of the
ballet.
Opera. They remake Phantom of the Opera for the 50th time.
Yeah.
He's definitely not going to be in it.
Timmy ain't going to be in that.
No, boy, no.
Pat Tinsley, Chicago, Illinois. Listen, when it comes to Timothée Chalamet, this is an artist raised by artists in New York City, a LaGuardia alum. He's also a Kardashian by association. He's not degrading art. It made him who he is. He's simply pointing out what people connect to, and unfortunately, the masses aren't going to the ballet, but they are going to your local movie theater.
That's true. That's true. And I do think that was his point. It was maybe not necessarily artfully conveyed, especially the dig after, like he realized that it was a jab, and so he tried to back out a little bit and said, oh, you know, no offense, but then threw in the 14 cents thing. So I don't know. I think he was trying to be funny. So there's a new season out of Ted, Seth MacFarlane's show, movie, now turned series, and that airs on Peacock. So they dropped the whole season last night, and they had a premiere event, and Seth MacFarlane was explaining how they got Bill Clinton for a cameo on this second season. It's not actually Bill Clinton. It's Seth. But, well, I'll let him explain. Well, here's the scene first, and then we're going to hear from Seth on how they pulled this off. What was the movie magic here?
President's here. Now listen, throw some munchkins in a bag, give me a cup of coffee, and shake my hand and smile to the window so people know we're having a good time. Go.
So you may have gathered as you're watching that, it's AI, but there are moments, and I guess this is part of the thing with AI, like there are moments where it's really good, and then there are moments where you could tell it's actually Seth.
Yeah, when he's yelling, I see Seth. I see Seth's eyes, but at the last moment, he turns and smiles. That's Bill Clinton's face. I mean, we remember him in 1992 running with McDonald's and donuts and all that sort of stuff. That's Uncanny Valley stuff. But, you know, we've been there. This is not an SNL impression. This is what media can do. I mean, we saw it, I guess, in Planet of the Apes, with Andy Serkis has been doing this, but this is a living president who is just perfectly rendered on screen.
Yeah, so at the premiere event last night, this is Seth explaining why they had to rely on AI, even though it seems like they tried not to, but here's why they had to.
I've been doing my Bill Clinton impression since the early days of Family Guy. This was an interesting. I mean, we filmed this like a year and a half ago. That's how long it takes us to do the CGI. It's an interesting example of how AI can be used as a tool and not necessarily trample on the art that the rest of the industry is doing. We tried prosthetics, we tried traditional CGI, and everything just looked terrifying. And so we just said, the hell with it, let's try AI. It works.
Are you troubled by it? Does it seem like a deep fake potential of it, or is it just a tool that's going to be used in art?
That stuff is going to happen anyway, and I understand what he's saying. I don't know that a lot of people in Hollywood are going to. The feeling from a lot of people in Hollywood is you can't give it an inch is going to take them on. Right. So I don't know that a lot of actors are going to be thrilled that he did it, but I get it. The use of it here is not.
The thing that I bristle at, he's trying to thread the needle. He's saying there's still an artist underneath who we just layered AI over. You're not always going to need the body underneath. I mean, it's very clear you can make Sora videos that look perfectly humid now, and I'm not sure he can sort of toe that line.
What do you think
forever.
of the impression, by the way?
Impression's pretty solid. I mean, it's old school. It's like a 90s impression of Bill Clinton. I liked it. Quaint.
Coming up.
Well, the battle between America's burger chains is heating up. McDonald's posted CEO Chris Kempczynski a video of him eating one of their new burgers. And now it has started this whole trend of putting your CEOs out there. They're mostly mocking Chris, but maybe this is working out for everybody.
Be right back.
Well, the battle between America's burger chains is heating up. And we have some new combatants entering the arena. People you wouldn't expect. CEOs. You know, those boring guys in suits. Well, when McDonald's CEO Chris Kempczynski, he put himself in the middle of this by posting, McDonald's posted a video of him eating one of their new burgers. It did not necessarily go the way they planned, but yet it still worked out. Here's a little bit of Chris.
Chris K here with, you've heard about it, here it is. The Big Arch. I love this product. It is so good. I'm going to do a tasting right now, but I'm going to eat this for my lunch, just so you know. So here we go. First, holy cow. God, that is a big burger. All right, the moment of truth. That is so good. It's a delicious product.
That delicious product. Oh, look at that product. The way that Chris did it ended up being mocked by just about every other burger chain who rolled out their executives, some real, some more like mascots. And now it has started this whole trend of putting your CEOs out there. They're mostly mocking Chris, but maybe this is working out for everybody. So it's time to follow the money, following the burger money this week with our good buddy Damon John. Damon, you got any burgers on the grill? What's going on?
No burgers on the grill, but I got to tell you, we're joking about Chris, but it actually made me pretty hungry. You know, maybe they said he took a small bite. He's very slim. Maybe he's a biohacker and he likes to eat little bits.
I mean, Damon, it looked like he didn't really enjoy it, right? I mean, that's what everyone looked like. Said that it looked like he was faking it.
He's conservative. Maybe he's just tight. You know, tight mouth. But I got to tell you, he put himself out there. And listen, I manage CEOs, and I got to tell you today, it is serious. If you are invisible as a CEO, you are vulnerable. And if you are vulnerable, you are replaceable. And that's the bottom line. And what happened? Burger King changed the Whopper after 10 years. Think about that. And all the other CEOs said, we better get on this. I don't know. Chris may be on to something.
Sometimes this is how social media works, right? It backfires when a thing doesn't go the way you planned. I'm sure when Chris did it, this was supposed to be, oh, look, the actual CEO's eating it and he likes it, so now let's go check it out. But really, people were reposting it and then other CEOs mocking him because they just thought he looked ridiculous taking a tiny bite and calling it this product instead of actually calling the burger by its name. Yet they kind of stumbled into it. They stumbled into some success.
Yeah, you're right. But now he has to, as I would advise, now they have to take advantage of it, because I believe he said some stuff like it has this kind of note in it, almost like champagne or wine, right? I think now he should be going deeper into it and changing the whole way that we talk about burgers. He should say, oh, this guy had this, guy had this, and this one had a very note. I'm a burger sommelier. And he should really now do about 10 more videos after it making fun of himself, because I know that, as I think it's called the big arch, right? I looked at that thing, and when he said, oh, look at the crispy onions, I started saying, wait a minute, I'm actually drooling a little bit.
So that part of it is effective. Well, the other thing that Chris and this McDonald's campaign has started is that now maybe they've created a new position. Wendy's is offering a $100,000 job. They're hiring for a chief tasting officer. Now, and I would imagine that that chief tasting officer, they want someone who's going to be camera ready, probably a little younger, to appeal to that demographic, but someone who's going to do basically what Chris did. That's a real job that someone could be going out for, and if it works for Wendy's, then you know that all the other chains are going to also hire a chief tasting officer.
Well, here we go. The power's going back to the people, right? We already talked about how the young lady, really, found some wealth within the Dr. Pepper campaign, and now you're going to find the everyday consumers can be the, don't want to date myself, the Siskel and Ebert of, for all of you, the critics,
the movie
of
critics,
major chains, and they can make a lot of money, because sooner or later, Wendy's probably will have one person in one town, one person in another city. And I think this is where, everybody right now should be picking up their phone and saying why they should be the top food critics or tasting officers. The CTO, not the chief technical officer, the chief tasting officer of I want to be the chief CBO, chief burger officer, chief drool officer.
Chief drool officer, CDO. Yes, the chief drool officer. Hey, if it pays $100,000 a year, I'd say that's a good job for people to be going out for.
Well,
So
I'm setting up I'm setting my application in right now.
all right. Well, we'll look for you on a burger ad sometime in the near future. Damon, good to see you, man.
Good to see you. And you know what? Rest in peace to the Honorable Jesse Jackson.
Absolutely, as they say goodbye to him today in Chicago. Thanks a lot, Damon.
Coming up.
When he was mayor of New York City, Eric Adams had no problems making headlines. We got him at LAX and asked him about the possibility of at some point there being a movie about the mayor.
Who would star as you?
Be right back.
When he was mayor of New York City, Eric Adams had no problems making headlines. He made a lot of them. Not all good, but he made a lot of headlines. So now that he's not, he is still making headlines. So he's out here in LA. He won't say why he's here. He said it has something to do with a private sector job he now has. But we got him at LAX and asked him about the possibility of at some point there being a movie about the mayor. And I think that's actually probably there's a lot of material there, so there's a good chance of it. And yes, he has someone in mind that I think some people may question. Here's what he had to say.
Well, you go Hollywood. You're here in La La Land, man. I mean, would you?
No. Enough public life, just in business.
Yeah, I could see a movie though. I could see a movie. Who would star as you?
I'll tell Denzel to do it.
Denzel.
I know people are gonna like, that's ridiculous. Denzel would never play you. I could see it. I could actually see it. I think Denzel would do a great job. I don't know if anyone's going to greenlight it, but and Denzel claims he's done acting now, but I don't believe that for a second.
Hi, I'm Tariq. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. And, Eric Adams said he wants Denzel Washington to play him in a biopic. And I think that's a bad idea because Denzel Washington plays serious roles. A movie about Eric Adams would be a comedy. So he should probably have one of the Wayans brothers play him. Have Shawn Wayans play it. Have Tyler Perry produce it. They do parodies anyway. It can be like a political satire, a mayor parody. I think that's my personal creative vision.
I like it. Scary Mayor. I can totally see it. What else do you guys want to talk about?
Hi, my name is Janessa. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm going to talk about Britney Spears. I just have to say that I feel like the hate that she's getting for this situation is horribly misogynistic, because when Justin Timberlake got his DUI, it was more of a meme and more of a joke. But because Britney did it, it's this huge, oh, she needs to be back in her conservatorship thing. It's a mistake. And if your guys' biggest mistakes were on the screen, it would be the exact same.
That is a fair take. It's a fair take. It's definitely a different tone, Britney's DUI from Justin's. That is absolutely fair to say. One more.
Hi, I'm Chastity from Kentucky, and I'm going to talk about the TED story and the AI. I think that this is I think that we're going to see this more and more in the future with movies and cartoons and art. It's another form of art. It was just AI, but I don't know exactly how that's going to go in regards to playing people that are still alive and they're using their likeness without their consent. So that's the only thing that's concerning, but I do think that it's going to be more common than what we think.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I was going to say it's coming, but it's not coming. It's here. And it's going to get better every time they use it, and the more they use it. So the future is now.
Coming up.
Well, everybody's favorite duo is in Paris. Oprah and Gayle, there for Paris Fashion Week. There was an interesting thing that happened on the way to the show. Gayle, well, she had a little struggle in Paris.
Be right back.
Well, everybody's favorite duo is in Paris. Oprah and Gayle, there for Paris Fashion Week, because it's, as we like to say, it's always Paris Fashion Week. But there was an interesting thing that happened on the way to the show. Gayle, well, she had a little struggle in Paris.
But she said this is to share. This is what fashion is.
You okay, Gayle?
These are comfortable. If I could sit like this in the show, that'd be
What
good.
people don't see.
Those pants are a little tight. They're a little tight.
I think that's so mean that Oprah's calling her out, going like, oh, they're a little tight. No kidding, Oprah. Yeah, she knows they're a little tight. But hey, they're best friends. If you can't make fun of your best friend, who can you make fun of? That is going to do it for us. Have a great weekend.